William Canfield has been President, CEO, and Director of Talks Corporation since 1986 and has been associated with the corporation since it was a startup. Talks, by the way, is spelled T-A-L-X. Bill has devoted himself to growing the company in an aggressive, nurturing environment. The application service company has made an impressive impact, providing human resource and employee self-service solutions for approximately 1/4 of America's workforce. It has also been named one of the 200 best small companies by Forbes and one of the 100 fastest growing companies by Fortune. A longtime entrepreneur, Bill has played an instrumental role in several computer-related ventures. He was a founder of Financial Data Systems Incorporated, the founder and president of Intech Group Incorporated, and founder and chairman of Noetic Technologies. He earned his BSEE from Purdue and the MBA from Washington University. Bill also serves on the board of the Magic House, which has been rated one of the nation's top 5 children's museums. On behalf of the faculty, it is my pleasure to present you with the Outstanding Electrical and Computer Engineer Award. Just move over here. I invite you to say a few words. Thank you.
Dr. Smith, members of the awards committee, and honored guests, it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'd also like to thank my lovely wife, whose intelligence and charm and encouragement have helped me to be here tonight, and she's a wonderful blessing to my life. So thank you, Sally. 1961 was an interesting year. John F. Kennedy was our president. The Bay of Pigs invasion occurred in that year. The Berlin Wall was built by East Germany. OPEC was founded. Alan Shepard and Gus Grissom, #1 and #2 Americans in space. We all know that Gus Grissom was a mechanical engineering graduate of Purdue. All that happened in 1961. A.J. Foyt won the Indianapolis 500. As a student, that's one of the most premier sporting events that's going on in the spring, isn't it? The New York Yankees beat the Cincinnati Reds in the World Series. The Boston Celtics beat the St. Louis Hawks for the NBA championship. Chicago Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup over the Detroit Red Wings. Cincinnati beat Ohio State in the NCAA basketball championship in 1961. The reverse happened in 1960. Ohio State beat Cincinnati, and at that time, Cincinnati had Oscar Robertson. Oscar Robertson graduated in 1960, and so the Cincinnati team was left with a bunch of unknowns, and the Ohio State team had John Havlicek, Jerry Lucas, and a young man that we Indianas have heard about, Bobby Knight, was on that 1961 Ohio State team. That's right. Unfortunately, Notre Dame beat Purdue that year, 22-20. Although Notre Dame had lost, Purdue had beaten Notre Dame in my junior and senior year, and so that game in 1961 was after I had graduated. Something else happened in 1961, and that is that I received my EE degree from Purdue, and I finally talked my high school sweetheart Sally into a September wedding that year. So that was the culmination of 1961 for me. Although I got a great education at Purdue, computers were not involved in the curriculum, and so I decided not to be in a EE lab, the jobs I was being offered, and so I went back to school to get an MBA at Washington University in St. Louis, and the computer opportunity came along with a job offer from IBM at that time. So I worked for IBM for about 8 years because I wanted to be in a situation where I was combining my technology education with my business education. I'm one of the few people alive today, there are lots of us, but I'm one of the few, that have had the experience of watching computers grow in terms of their stature and their use for the last 45 years, because that's how long I've been involved in understanding and being able to use computers in solving business problems, and that's always been what I've tried to do in my life, is not use the technology as the end in itself, but figure out how the technology can solve somebody's problem, and that's the business problem that we're all looking for. My Purdue education has been meaningful to me in several different ways. First of all, it gives me instant credibility. When I talk to somebody and they ask me about my education, when I indicate that I have a EE degree from Purdue, I get a nice head nod, and sometimes I get a wow, so I'm an okay guy as a result of that. My engineering degree has also helped me understand how to solve problems. We all say that, but I think the real key to me is that it's taught me how to take a complex situation and boil it down to its simplest basis so that you can attack it in a very straightforward way. It's also given me the ability of figuring out how to remove obstacles, I call them boulders in business, from an issue and allow the growth and the progress to be on the right path. And growth has been something that I have been interested in all my life. I won't go back into a long history, but Dr. Smith indicated that TOX is one of the fastest growing 100 companies in the country, recognized by Forbes, Business Week, and Fortune magazine. It is founded really in about 1988. It's now over 200 million in revenue and employs about 1,500 people. And the business that we are in is providing computer solutions in a service kind of way to human resource and payroll departments of major corporations. We serve about 3/4 of the Fortune 500 and about 75 companies in total. From Purdue's website, I learned that Purdue has the same kind of recognition, 4th in the nation in the engineering school for public universities and 8th overall for all universities, which is a terrific record. I had the pleasure of touring the campus for a couple of hours before we got here to this building, and I was just amazed. Talk about growth. I have not had the opportunity to come back to the campus very often. It's probably been a good 20 years since I've been here, and I didn't remember all the things that were going on, but the depth, I used to know the core of the university, but the depth of expansion in all 3 directions. You can't go much past the Wabash River, but it's just amazing, and it's wonderful to see. Very impressive. I stopped by my fraternity house, where most of my memories are of my 4 years at Purdue. I was a Sigma Chi, and the Sigma Chi house is over on Littleton, next to the Wabash River. Not much had changed there in 45 years. The house is the same size, looks the same. I think I even saw some of the same furniture. And I believe it smelled about the same too. It just had that rank to it that was always there. In spite of the below par housing that that house has, the Sigma Chi's have always ranked highly on campus with regard to academics and achievement. In the local Purdue chapter of Sigma Chi, like Purdue, is embarking upon a capital campaign. They're trying to raise $6 million to refurbish and expand, not knock down, but repair what's there and make it better and then expand it. They're already $4 million into that campaign, and I'm told that it is the largest single campus Greek capital campaign that's ever been tried. So far, out of the 6 million goal, 4 million has been raised. And that 4 million is coming from Purdue graduates who have had some success in their lives, who happen to be Sigma Chi's. But the real basis for all of that is coming as a result of their education and their background at Purdue. So it's not just the fraternity, it's really Purdue that's making that happen. And there are some fine young men there today still. We met a few of them. I'm honored with this recognition. I'm excited and pleased to see the growth both physically and academically of Purdue, and I am proud to be a double E graduate of Purdue. Thank you very much.